is what's the difference in these different forms of entertainment law? Like, are they closely related? Is it always different? What's happening there?
So I do mainly 4 different things.
Okay. That's a lot of stuff already.
I do 100 different things, but we'll start as a lawyer. You could categorize it into 4 things. Mm-hmm. The first one is negotiate and draft contracts. Okay, so that I do probably 65% of my time, I'm guessing, is music. Mm-hmm. The rest is a combination of film, television, and books, and some radio. Okay. So it's a wide variety, and each one is different, but there are a lot of similarities. Okay. Then the second thing is trademark and copyright. So especially my associate, Joe Belanca, he's been really taking over that aspect to a great extent. He's great at it, and we'll do, for example, and it's been a little bit public, so I guess I can say, we represent, for example, the Detroit versus Everybody brand.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And people around the country and in other countries are constantly using that trademark for Detroit.
I've seen it in Walmart
versus
everywhere.
Versus everybody, right? Mm-hmm. Something else versus everybody, right? Sports teams. So he's licensing it, and we do the work for him, licensing it to a lot of places, but a lot of places just do it, so we have to go after them. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things we do, filing trademarks, filing copyrights, and enforcing them. Mm-hmm. Okay. The third thing I do is dispute resolution, and that's a big part of what I end up doing, which is there's always a dispute between somebody and someone else in the entertainment industry. Always.
Got that right.
So I try and resolve without litigation if possible, because litigation is so expensive. It's over the top. But it just and like you were saying, sometimes it's because you're going to court and you're just sitting there for hours waiting for your case to be called. Mm-hmm. But the lawyer's billing his time. That's all you got.
You got that right.
And then the judge says, well, we're going to adjourn till tomorrow. We ran out of time or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Anyway, it's very expensive. So I always try and resolve without litigation. But I do get involved in litigation. I've been involved in lawsuits, for example, against Apple twice. Once for using an Eminem song in an iPod commercial without permission, and once for using an Eminem or for selling Eminem songs on iTunes without the proper license from the publisher. Mm-hmm. I've also had a suit against Facebook. I've had a suit recently, unfortunately, get dismissed against the FBI, representing the Juggalos, who are the fan base of the Insane Clown Posse.
I actually remember that case.
Yep.
That was like people were making fun of it. I was looking at it like, this is so unique.
Well, it was, unfortunately, it was very real, and I think the court dismissed it on bad grounds, but that's the way it goes. We appealed, and the appellate court agreed with the trial court, so that case is over. But because the FBI classified Juggalos as a gang, there's a million
different things.
Juggalos, a million Juggalos. They are not all gang members, and then they would start getting arrested or pulled over because they had a bumper sticker or a T-shirt or a tattoo or whatever, and they would get harassed by the police and put in the gang file. And then some of them that did get in trouble, they would enhance their charges because they were a gang member. It was pretty crazy, and it still is, unfortunately. So I get involved in that kind of litigation, and then I also get appointed by courts to be either a mediator, arbitrator, or expert witness on cases. So I've been involved in cases, court-appointed, with Berry Gordy, Four Tops, The Temptations, Anita Baker, and then others that you wouldn't have heard of. But I would say about once every other year I get a call from a judge and get
then because
into a case.
You can step in with the knowledge that you have,
right,
and represent a better understanding for everyone involved,
and hopefully resolve it.
Yes,
right, better than the judge would have.
Yeah, because it's like the judge is being a judge; they don't know intellectual property.
They can't know everything, right?
So
So I do that. So that's my third thing, dispute resolution. And then the fourth thing I do is I network on behalf of clients. Okay, It used to be called shopping a deal,
Yes.
but you don't always want the deal. So it's like just helping to get their projects to the right people to see what might come from it.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the main things that I do. And then, I'm on 10 different boards of directors.
You are.
And
also the music festival. You've been pivotal in so many different people's careers, like behind the scenes stuff. Like people say, like, Howard made this call for me. He did this, and I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's definitely cool.
Right.
Dealing with so many artists is I look at a lot of artists just have like it's almost like a savior syndrome, like of looking at any business opportunity, like I just want to sign it, kind of like how that guy is.
Right.
And I just want to be saved. This was put in my life, and let's worry about whatever we can work out on the next deal.
Yeah.
That mentality is so prevalent with so many artists. How, as an attorney over the years, have you been able to hold the horses of the artist where they aren't moving so fast, but letting things balance out the right
Well,
way?
the trick is, there's several issues. The first is to even get them to me, hopefully, before they sign something. I can't
hard.
tell you how many times they come to me after the fact and say, this deal it's not working out that great. Can you get me out of it? And then I look at the contract they signed, and it's horrible. Mm-hmm. They shouldn't have been in it in the first place. At least under those terms. They never negotiated it. They didn't know what it said. And a lot of times it's not so easy to get out because it's the record company often that has the options. And as long as they're doing what they were supposed to do, they can't guarantee success.
Yeah, they wrote it in their favor.
Right.
Like right now, a lot of people are talking about all of the, I'm even unsure what the name of it, but all these television local stations have been bought by like this one company, and they've had all these anchors sign these agreements, and now they're reading different things. And it's like a lot of the anchors didn't even know what they were signing. It was just like, I want to keep my job. So
exactly.
What am I supposed to do? Not sign it?
Right. So then what I do is, assuming I do get hired ahead of time, I review the contract and I adjust it the way I think is fair. Mm-hmm. And beneficial to my client, but not over the top, because you want to actually make the deal if the client wants to make the deal. And then try to work out all of the items with, usually there's a lawyer on the other side, or sometimes it's the production company or the record label without a lawyer negotiating it. And then when it gets to a point where if I'm satisfied with it, I'll tell my client, I think this is fair. I think it's good to go. If you're happy with it, let's do it. And if I don't think it's good, I'll tell the client that. I'll say, look, this is the number of points you're getting, aren't enough, or you don't have a good way to get out of the contract if they're not really performing or whatever it is. And then it's up to the client whether they're going to still sign or not sign. Sometimes I say, look, I recommend you not sign it, but it's up to you.
Detroit is Different is where you get information, artistry, history, music, and even comedy. Detroit is Different, a home for the culture of Detroit. Visit online at DetroitisDifferent.com today